All right, welcome, good evening, welcome back, welcome, and I've said welcome 5 times by now, or 4 times, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Bitcoin has recovered, V-shaped recovery as predicted, no big deal. And did I enter? I did not enter Bitcoin. I promised myself I would not buy Bitcoin at above 100,000. Not crazy like that. But the entries that we did enter, Litecoin, Sui, Solana, Cardano, those are in profit. Very good entries. Proud of them. Just goes to show, as of right now, the strategy is working quite well. And I'm glad I also increased my X position into Litecoin. Otherwise, I'd be making, what is it, 50 cents instead of $5. Also, this is insignificant money. I'm just trading with such a minuscule, pathetic amount that it's practically irrecognizable. Just to show you guys what my thought process is, what I'm trying to do, and also using real money, so you know I'm putting my money where my mouth is, albeit not as much, because I do put a different higher percentage of my balances into other positions on my main account, but I'm using this perpetual futures just to basically show you guys what my thought process is, like I said. So we clashed at this resistance at 105,000. We did not pass that today. We hit 105,287 was our highest for today. And, as of right now, the lowest point, we dropped as low as 100,335, and that was yesterday. Not drop any lower than that. 100,000 resistance proved to work very well. This, I'm pretty sure, was good market manipulation. I say good, but it's obviously not good. A lot of people got billions liquidated in total. But, I mean, this is good because it kind of clears out that process, gives you a good buying opportunity, and, sets the stage for the next leg up. I know we are technically in a downtrend, but I feel like this one is super weak, easily going to be broken very soon. Hopefully, if we do continue with this upward movement. If not, easy. We can grab more reinforcements from this bottom zone that we slowed down at to reaccumulate, to gather more strength, to break out higher than over here. We can then try chasing that 105,000 resistance once again. I feel like we need new pivot levels, especially after, low volatility at the beginning of the week and then high volatility towards the end of it. The reason why we're rising today, if you're not aware yet, is because we got non-farm payroll data that came in very well. Good economic data, right? We're going to discuss that in more detail later on. I don't even know the exact numbers off the top of my head. I just know that they were good, and I know that markets went up. That's all I got to know, really. Because this will all just blow over later on. We're going to get new market economic data, and the markets will react differently in the upcoming weeks, so it doesn't really matter, right? So yeah, that's all for now. Super trend resistance, though, is looking at this downtrend, the one that we should really be concerned about. And you're looking at about 108,000 for that, and decreasing over time, of course. So we shall see when we approach that area to retest. If we're looking at this pivot level, which I doubt we'll be using, so take this one with a grain of salt, by 13th of June, we could hopefully see a breakout from there after breaking 106,000. Which, like I said, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know what the next pivot levels will be like, but we can easily determine that. I mean, even if this is the bottom, which, let's just say for argument's sake, that was the bottom. What's our resistances looking like? And I can't see, so we're looking at this one. We're currently clashing with the first one. Next one, yeah, it's literally looking at 106,000. This should also decrease to 107,500 approximately, although the super trend is looking at 108,000. You're getting a lot of levels that honestly it feels very insignificant if they do get broken. So it's just to give you a general idea as to where things are headed. As of right now, what are we going into? Saturday. You know what happens Saturdays? Nothing. So this downtrend is just going to be broken by literal price decay. Even if we just continue flat where we are right now, this downtrend is going to be broken. I'll keep it drawn nonetheless, but this is the one that we should be paying attention to more, right? So that's my thoughts on that, my comments on that. I just did something. No, I didn't. We also have this uptrend that did get broken, unfortunately. but might have to readjust it there if that is the bottom, which I'll draw it there for now, just to give us an idea. If we are to drop, where can we drop to? And I feel like this support would actually make more sense if that drop was to play out, because, you know, you'd be drawn into that area right over here, which I don't think we have to worry about anyway. Honestly, this drop was just because of that Elon Musk Donald Trump drama that it's kind of blown over by now. Trump mentioned in a comment today, like, oh, I wish him well. I know it sucks that all this stuff happened, but it's whatever, was kind of his reaction to it. And Elon Musk does seem to have chilled out as well today. There was a tweet, I don't have it pulled up with me right now, but this guy, shout out to Alaska, I think was his name. This random guy on Twitter with 17 followers just said something along the lines of, this is childish, you guys are better than this, work it out, let it cool off after a few days, replying to one of Elon Musk's ranting tweets that were countless the day of yesterday. And Elon Musk came to his senses after reading this person's tweet and said, you know what, you're right. That Space Dragon thing I was about to decommission, I'm going to cancel that and go back on it. And then that guy just got, I don't know, thousands of followers afterwards. And a lot of praises and a lot of quote retweets and all of that. People praising this guy for basically stopping the fight is what they're making him to be a hero about, which is pretty funny. It was good comedic relief the way it ended out. A lot of people, even like I said, this could have been speculation from yesterday. A lot of people were saying, oh, maybe this is all just some little manipulation that they were doing. Like, hey, let's pretend that we're in a fight as a prank for the people, right? I've had this prank pulled on me before with some other friends, so I get the feeling, man. It's not good, like seeing your two best friends just start arguing over something so diminutive, and then you're like, guys, stop fighting, it's not cool. And then later on they're like, haha, it was just a prank. And then they show you like DMs of each other saying like, yo, let's pretend to do a prank or whatever, right? So yeah, that's kind of what the summary of what happened yesterday. Did anything else major happen? Really not. It was just the bold claim of, oh, the Trump is on the Epstein files. Okay, sure. Maybe Trump will now consider releasing the full Epstein files just to kind of prove Elon wrong, to kind of save, I guess, his own reputation. Kash Patel was also asked to comment on it. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I did not watch it yet, but I saw a couple of clips. They don't fully watch them. I have to, so I will. But clearly he said, like, no, it's no comment on that, and I don't know, also some random stuff about, he did claim Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, he did indeed kill himself. There's video footage of that. And then also, you know, the accusation of high-profile people doing sketchy stuff there, that's all unconfirmed. Meanwhile, Attorney General Pam Bondi is saying something completely different, is what some other people have pointed out. So we'll see what actually happens once everything does get released. As Elon Musk did reply to his own tweet, one day the truth will come out. It has to, right? So we shall see eventually. Yeah, no further comments on that. I honestly don't know what else to say about it, but that's your latest update on that situation. Look at these two guys, by the way. XRP and Sui. Gosh, I hate XRP. Sui is just much better. And Sui is probably, yeah, my top performer out of all these four. After buying the perfect dip on all these four assets, Litecoin, Sui, Solana, Cardano, even if I bought in, what would it be, XRP and Ethereum and Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure Sui would be still be the top performer right now. 9% up today. I'll talk about Sui later on for my technical analysis. But this is great. Oh my gosh. I'm very bullish on Sui. Sui is just a great coin. It's got that volatility. It's got that movement. It's got that potential, right? It's just such a good project. Oh gosh. Okay. How much am I paying for fees? Just a couple cents. 11 cents, mainly on Litecoin. Litecoin's my oldest position, to be fair. But I entered with like 80 cents? Or $8? Something like that. I increased my position to have a total size of 150. Why do I have 161 in Sui? Is that why? Is it the fees that I get? No, I didn't get negative funding fees. How much did I put in? I put in 49 times 3. Why is my total value 161? Oh, is that including the gains? I assume it is. Otherwise, what the heck is this? And why am I paying more on Solana then? No, this is not right. I don't know how to read this. Like, this is my first time actually using perpetual futures, like genuinely with real money. I have done it with the past with the trading bot, and it was always giving me these random numbers, so I didn't give too much attention to it. I just assumed, oh yeah, it's all just based off of fees. I ended up losing $500. You guys saw that happen live with my trading bot. So yeah, clearly strategy no good. I gotta think of a different strategy. For now, I'm just doing what would you even call this? Like a martingale kind of thing. I like that all the positions get condensed into one line for each asset, right? It's not like each asset has its own line for each position that gets opened, like you would see in standard futures. It just gets way too complicated by then because you'll have like, I don't know, 60 open positions and you have to like go through each page to try to find all that stuff. It gets like very overwhelming at the points, especially when you're about to get liquidated on like 15 positions or something. So yeah, I have one open order and it's probably an XRP. It is indeed. XRP did not drop enough for that order to be triggered. So that's fine. I don't mind it. I don't want it anyway. I just was putting it there because everybody talks about XRP, and I do think it's still a good project, but in terms of this cycle and this movement, it's just very underperforming. Similar deal with Ethereum, right? You could argue maybe the same for Cardano, but I still think Cardano's still got good potential. It's still down in the market cap list. Remember, Cardano did reach number 3 in the market cap list back in 2021. It did reach a price of $3 back in 2021. So it's still got that potential, I feel. We'll wait for Cardano to do its thing. All right, moving on. Let's have a look at Ethereum. I didn't even read the prices for Bitcoin, did I? I mean, our current price is 104,400. If you care, we're up 2.60%. Ethereum is up 2%. Price is 2,471. We dipped to a low of 2,382, and we're on our way back up. Super trend is at the high level of 2,670, we could call that. And our pivot resistance is set at 2,506. 2,600, you could call this as well. No real specific details other than possibly a support for the previous couple of days this week. That support would now become our resistance after it got immediately broken. But we did find a good support level down here, 2,400 approximately. So that's good. On our way back up. Solana is, wow, very underwhelming, only up 1.77%. Current price is 147. I have this zone drawn over here because I think that's where we will meet our first resistance. Seems like our actual resistance, like our first major resistance is what I'm referring to in comparison to like the super trend. That's when we would confirm we would be in an uptrend once again. That's the kind of logic that I'm kind of using over here. But we did meet with this resistance from Fibonacci. I guess it was technically supposed to be a support, and that has become a resistance because, of course, Fibonacci is drawn the other way around. I have a liquidation price over here at 95. Will we reach 95 again for Solana? Very unlikely. The position I entered, very well entered. Look at that. As soon as you see this thing oversold, you enter that. Whoops, I didn't mean to move that. Do I need this line? I don't think I need this line. I'm deleting it. Downtrend still prevails though, so that's something we got to pay attention to. And yeah, like I said, first resistance, we're looking at about the 160s. Can you stop? This thing is in my way. Could remove trading markings, yeah, there, but I kind of want to keep it anyway. Making $4 so far on this in a $150 total position size entry on Solana. We'll see how that goes. XRP, as I mentioned, I have a trigger order over here, but nothing happened. XRP surges past 215 as whales make major moves. Yeah, we don't care. Whales manipulate the price. Downtrend still prevails very perfectly. Resistance coincides right there with the super trend. So we're looking at $2.30. Seems to be the major resistance always for XRP. We've had issues breaking that a couple times in the past, if you'll recall. So seems like we're still going to be still going to have to battle that issue for now. As of right now, we did clash with our first pivot resistance at about 219 was our high for today. We reached a low of $2.05. That was the lowest point, worst case scenario, June 5th. By the way, this was all predicted by M2 Supply. And if we do follow the course of M2 Supply, we're going up from here all the way until August. So prepare, grab on to the only things you care about, and then ride the wave upwards. In general, right? I'm talking Bitcoin, not really alts. We'll see alts make their move once Ethereum crosses its all-time high levels once again. All right. Downtrend still prevails for XRP, though. $2.15 is the current price. We're up 2.88%. Sui, the best coin ever to exist ever, is breaking its little short-term downtrend over here. That's good. Although, in order to fully, you know, be considered an uptrend again, and I'm not sure what this is being based off of, probably just a little indicator flaw, but that's fine. $3.42 is what Sui's downtrend invalidation would be, so we would be in an uptrend once we cross 342 as of right now. It's got a great recovery going, and I did enter very good as well, right over here at oversold level. Currently making a good profit on Sui so far. Don't want to jinx it, of course. I mean, I wouldn't mind if this does drop. I've got plenty more to drop into positions, but I'm just going to wait for the perfect moment. I'm going to be patient with the account. We'll see how big we can grow this $2,000 account. It's not that big, I know. Maybe, like, even if I get bored, I'll just start going into smaller and smaller time frames just to trade it off. But right now, I'm just playing the patient game. This is sort of the thing that I'm doing with my main account. I entered similarly to these on the main account, albeit I did enter a little bit higher on some other positions, albeit as well that I entered much lower on positions that I still have not yet sold from the drop down over here in April, May, right? So I'm still loaded up, still haven't sold most of my positions. I did take some profits. I'm not crazy, but you know, I'm still waiting for Bitcoin 135K alt season. I still think that has not happened. I still think Bitcoin bull run isn't over, although some people say it might be, and I'll get to that as well. I do have some news to share about it. It's just some comparisons to historical data, but we'll get there when we get there. So good recovery day so far. You know, we've basically erased all the losses from the Trump-Elon Musk drama that happened. Like, you'll notice this for most of the coins, right? Litecoin is up 3.21%, current price $86.66, and we clashed with the 87 resistance currently. Yeah, that's not too bad. I entered these two positions right over here. Right there, and right there. Thanks to RSI and pointing out to me when it is oversold enough, good enough to buy. So I entered a very tiny position right over here. I entered from TradingView just to like see how it worked. It didn't work very beautifully, so I went back obviously to this exchange, re-entered a proper position to increase my position size to about 150, and that's where we're currently at the moment. I should be entering more, shouldn't I? But it's fine. These are my first entries. If it does continue dropping more, I'll double my position size, maybe even triple. I'm exaggerating, probably not that much, honestly. I'll just put in another 150 total, right? So 53x kind of deal, because these do have liquidation prices, but you know, it's good, it's fine. Like, they're very distant. I don't expect to be liquidated. 3x is normally fairly safe, not always. You still can get liquidated on a 3x. Just look at Ethereum for the past couple months, right? No amount of x's would have saved you, right? Even if you had a 2x position on Ethereum by entering at 3,900, right? Almost $4,000. Ethereum dropped to 1,300. No amount of leverage would have been safe from liquidation in Ethereum. So just letting you know, you can get liquidated if you do use leverage. It's just a possibility. Unless, of course, you have a cross-margin mode and you have enough margin to support all of that, which in most cases most people don't, because everything goes down. So you just don't have enough money, right? It's going to happen. I've had $0 available margin at many points during the past couple months. And it's been painful to watch, your portfolio just be so negative. But at the same time, you're like, okay, is that all you got, Bears? Like, come on. I'm still able to take this much more difference in price drawdown, right? Like, I'm still fine. But it's difficult to be that defiant, right? You don't know how much markets can go down. So just be careful with that. Resistance for Litecoin is looking at $92.24 or 42 cents. Same deal. As soon as we cross up to this downtrend, and it seems like that's what's going to be most important for now. Pivot level is looking at 89, or looking at 90. We'll call it 90. I think 90 was a good resistance. That's something that we saw over here with the previous super trend back when it was bullish. So that's what we're looking for in Litecoin. We got a couple downtrends to break that I drew very, very short term. We'll see how they perform. As of right now, I mean, you could even draw one more and prove like, yeah, like this is breaking out soon. I mean, we kind of just bounced down from it. Similar to what we're seeing with Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure. If I go back to Bitcoin's price action, yeah, literally this. Bitcoin digital gold, Litecoin digital silver, you'll notice some similarities there. Cardano is also doing the same thing, literally the exact same downtrend line. Interesting. I also entered very well. I'm happy with this entry. Oversold position right over here, entered at 62. Current price of Cardano is 65. Although we did just take a bit of a drop over here. Our highest point was 67 in the past 24 hours. Yeah, current price 65. We're still up 3.75%. That's not too bad. Things seem to be kind of slowing down a little bit. Asian markets have just opened. Maybe they are taking profits. If they entered where I entered yesterday, could be the case, right? Yeah, we shall see. I still think these are good entries, and most of these downtrends seem to be steep enough to the point that they could be broken very soon. I am hoping for, at least. Uptrend would start being validated again once we cross 72 for Cardano, at least according to 4-hour super trend data. Although I don't like where this is. It seems like it's a little bit too far up, right? Anyways, we shall see. What is my current uptrend looking like? It's like this. Obviously, it got broken long ago. That's why super trend flipped bearish right over there. So I'm just going to readjust it here. If that is the bottom, I think this could actually be defining for, the rest of this bull run, for alt season mainly, if we're looking at Cardano's case. You can make the argument for most of the other altcoins as well, but I already analyzed them. I'm not going to go back and take a look at them all. I mean, you not even all the altcoins, you could do the same thing for Bitcoin, right? This is the uptrend that we would be looking for in terms of our next bear market, right? Crypto winter. Wherever we top out, we're going to come back and find our bounce towards this one, because Bitcoin has an eternal uptrend. It has to have an eternal uptrend, right? Unless Satoshi sells, unless MicroStrategy sells, unless the US government sells, we won't see an enormous crash for Bitcoin. So we should be fine. And in terms of like bottom indicators for Bitcoin, you're not going to see Bitcoin below 80,000 ever again. Guaranteed. To further reinforce that idea, you go to the 1 week super trend. And look at that. It's increased to 80,682. It was previously at our old all-time high back when we were suffering when Bitcoin reached 74,000. It literally dropped to 74,000. And that's where a super trend in the weekly chart, 10.3, was. I figured that this is literally the determining indicator of whether or not we are in a bull cycle or a bear cycle. Although this one was a bit of a false signal, admittedly, back in 2021. How long did this last? I am curious. It lasted up till here, right? That's 441 days of a bull run, right? After this, from here, everything started crashing and you're in a bear market for 378 days. Given that same logic, are we at the end of our bull cycle? I don't think so. I don't even know where to start. Would we start from here? If it's from here, we're already doomed. This is 500 plus days. 861 days of constant uptrend. I think that's an exaggeration. What if we start it from here, like realistically? Okay, that's a little more simpler. 455 days. But that is also dangerous. You know what? I'll pull up the post right now if I can find it. If I can find it. Bitcoin topped. Double top. This is what we're talking about here. So we saw this in 2021, right? Two tops. 64,000, 69,000, right? We're looking at this right over here. Let me draw this over here. So we had two tops like that after we made a little drop like this. And that's currently what we're seeing right over here. Hypothetically speaking, right? Our first top would be over here, where this would have been like the equivalent of the 64,000 right there. And the second top, could this be already our second top after we also see another dip like this? That could be the case. I don't know. I doubt it. Like, I don't think our bull cycle is ending here. Like I said, if we do drop below 80,000, that would just invalidate everything. And we could see this once again happen, crypto winter. But I really, really don't think that's going to happen. I think we still got a long way to go. Like, we have to. Everybody's getting involved. There's so many plans to keep buying Bitcoin. The US government is involved in this. It's not going to go down. I don't see it going down. Right? But once again, this is all unpredictable. And my target, at least for this cycle, is up here. One more rise up like this. I would be comfortable with that. I would like to see us go up to here, but I think that is aggressive and maybe a bit unrealistic. Many analysts, don't get me wrong, they have their targets all the way up here, right? So I'm not the only one. But I'm playing this a bit more conservatively. I'm planning to sell over here if we ever do get there. I mean, with this trajectory, it definitely seems like we could. I'll be keeping an eye out, like, all during the month of July and August to see how things really go. We shall see. We shall see. But in terms of, like, Bitcoin cycles, that's what a lot of people are fearing. And I'll just go ahead and read the posts now that we're there, right? Because we already made the first one. That could be our second top. I doubt it. I think we're still going to continue higher. Price is stalling. Leverage is building. Corporate treasuries are borrowing billions at the cycle's edge. Could this be 2021? We would need some FTX-style crash for that to happen, honestly. Historically, each Bitcoin cycle is topped 12 to 18 months after the halving. That is the pattern. And right on cue, some analyst says that we are entering very shaky ground. Saifedain Amos. History says this is danger territory, but every cycle has its twist. That is true. If the halving cycle dynamics continue, that's also one more thing. Like, each cycle, like, starts sooner. Oh, sorry. It starts later, right? They begin starting sooner, and then each cycle later, they start, you know, later. I'm assuming this one also will take much longer. The black line is what we're currently at right now. Can I draw on this? I'll screenshot it. Seems to be the only way I can do what I want. And I'll move this over here. What I'm looking at is this black line. I'll even change my color to black over here. I'm expecting this to be taking much longer before rising because the rest of these other colors, they started later each time, right? This is the first one. This is the second one. No, it's the third one. I just contradicted myself, did I? I mean, either way, it took longer to take off, right? Oh, we should be looking at these lines. So this, the second line is right over there. Third line takes off much later, right? And then this line will take off much later as well. If we're following that pattern, each time it will just take longer is kind of what I'm expecting from this. 2021 was driven by traders. 2025 is being driven by allocators. These corporations, they're long-only buyers. They're not traders of Bitcoin. They're not flipping for profit. They're locking it up permanently. That is also a bullish factor, right? Safe also sounded the alarm on leverage. His warning, if your business can't survive an 80% Bitcoin drawdown, rework it now. That's scary to think about, 80% Bitcoin drawdown. What was the drawdown from here, from 2021 top cycle? Yeah, about an 80% drawdown, 77%. And, I mean, if we're looking at that from here, like a 70% drawdown. Oh, this is not looking good, is it? I don't think we're going to have some crazy drawdown like this. That's just not possible. We're literally going to be back where we were in 2022. Like, think about that. That's just not possible. Seeing these levels again? Nah. A lot of people have accumulated already, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to see Bitcoin below this. It's not possible. That's why I'm expecting a big rise to kind of buffer most of that drop down once we do eventually enter a bear market cycle, but as of right now, no. Bitcoin treasury companies are borrowing billions to stack. If the floor drop, consequences could be systemic. Yes, leverage is rising, but Galaxy Research mapped it, and most of it doesn't mature until 2027 or beyond. This isn't speculative margin. It's slow strategic accumulation by companies betting on Bitcoin long term. If you want to see the chart, I don't know what this is, but you can see it there. And while the attention wanes, conviction grows. 62% of Bitcoin hasn't moved in over a year. That's historic dormancy. We last saw this in 2016 and 2020, right before the liftoff. We should be seeing this, I guess, in 2024, right before a liftoff. 2025 is supposed to be a good year. Even if short-term price action stays choppy, zoom out. Trump and Warren, Elizabeth Warren, both want to scrap the debt ceiling. Yeah, that is Elizabeth Warren. That's bipartisan alignment on infinite money printing, something that Elon Musk, of course, opposes because that's why they got into this feud, right? Trump and Elon. Today, Trump called for a 1% rate cut. Rocket fuel, that is true. He is bashing Jerome Powell, which I will get to because of the non-farm payroll data. He's acting for a full 1% rate cut. Some people are expecting a rate increase, though. And that's why Powell has been kind of playing it slow to see where things are headed to decide whether or not he's going to cut. The dollar has no brakes. Bitcoin has no governor. Too late at the Fed is a disaster. Too late, of course, is the nickname for Jerome Powell that Trump has imposed on him. Europe has had 10 rate cuts. We have had none. Despite him, Jerome Powell, our country is doing great. Go for a full point, rocket fuel, is what he says. So maybe this is a double top, or maybe it's a pressure cooker with the lid rattling. I think it's the latter. Either way, Bitcoin supply is tightening while fiat explodes. We're just looking at empty money supply. We know that that's going to be the case. It's not a setup for failure. That's a setup for detonation, right? If you want to go deeper, that's all you got to know. This is the non-farm payroll data that Trump commented on. He says that there's great job numbers. The stock market is going up big. At the same time, billions pouring in from tariffs. I thought Donald Trump does not look at the stock market. Did he look at it yesterday when he made the whole thing drop because of this Elon and Trump drama? I don't think so. I want to see you. Why am I not signed in? I am signed in. Countries. Clear. I only care about United States. Non-farm payrolls. Okay. We had 147,000 jobs created previously. We expected to have 130,000 jobs, but we actually have 139,000 jobs, which is much more than expected, which is a good thing. Unemployment rate stayed in line with expectations. That is also fine. Great. That is actually good data. So deserved. Stock market, everything go up. We shall see as well for China trade talk deals, because if you're not aware, this happened earlier this week. Scott Bessent said that China was withholding some of the products that they agreed to release during the agreement, the original agreement that they had in Geneva, Switzerland. He confirms these products are rare earth minerals and says maybe it's a glitch in the system, maybe it's intentional, because that is when Trump accused China of violating the trade deal. We didn't know specifically about what they were talking about. This is apparently what they were talking about. So just wanted to clear that up first. Next, Trump says that he is pleased to announce that Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and the United States Trade Representative Ambassador Jameson Greer will be meeting in London on Monday, June 9, which is 3 days from now, with representatives of China with reference to the trade deal. The meeting should go very well. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Also another reason why markets are going up. You're saying Taco Tuesday. If you don't know what taco means, TACO, Trump always chickens out. Something that the reporter has pointed out to Trump and really got him angry one day. Because Trump would always, put tariffs on a country, and then, I don't know, 1 week later, he'll remove them. And people are criticizing Trump for this, like, okay, you're threatening these tariffs on people, but then you're just removing them. You're chickening out every time. And Trump didn't like that, of course. So he doubled down on steel and aluminum tariffs, which happened last week. All right. So, yeah, that's the updates that we got for China. Trump memes, just wanted to point this out as well. NFTs are being released from the Trump NFTs, the Trump meme coin, sorry, after the dinner with Trump, the dinner that he had with the top 240 token holders, whatever the number was. The NFTs are on Solana, good use case for Solana. They are historic collector's items that celebrate the crypto president. That shows how to get it. If you successfully registered for the dinner. What? 1, if you successfully registered for the dinner. 2, we're in the top 220, not 240, on the leaderboard. 3, or if you held strong through the dinner, diamond hands, check your wallet. Your NFTs await. There are 3 separate NFTs. I bought the Trump token once it came out. It was priced at $30. It reached $70, and I'm stupid for not selling. I didn't put too much anyway. I put $100, and I doubled that money to another $100. Now, that was on the spot market. I didn't use leverage. Since then, it has dropped to, what does it even cost now? $11? Trump? $10? Yeah, I bought over here. Rose up to here. I didn't sell. I'm stupid, I know. It's fine. Dropped all the way down here. And I've held through ever since. I still have my Trump tokens. I'm really just waiting for it to reach 30 again so that I could just sell. But obviously that's not going to happen. We shall see, though. I've had diamond hands for this. Should I be checking my wallet? Do I even have NFTs of Trump? It would be cool to have it, but I don't think they'd be worth much. Congratulations to all who earned these, and thanks to Metaplex for creating the leaderboard and NFTs. You can view them here. I'll have to check it later. I don't know where to check it from. There was also fake news alert. The President of the United States was going to launch a Bitcoin and crypto wallet called the Trump wallet. Apparently it's fake. Everybody in the Trump family, Eric Trump, Trump Jr., and Barron, all quote tweeted this saying that we run Trump. What is this? Trump organization. And they know nothing about this project in terms of World Liberty Fi and all that stuff. What is American BTC? The new standard in Bitcoin mining. That's cool. I'll check it out later. Yeah. So just beware of that. Don't fall for that, whatever that scam is. Nobody knows who actually created that. Meta, I have some news about Meta as well. They held a voting to, they should add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. If you'll recall, Microsoft did a similar thing. I don't know if it was earlier this year or probably last year. The shareholders have voted to reject the proposal to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet. And this is a concerning number. Only 0.1% voted in favor, and 95% opposed it. So there's strong opposition to adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Meta, who has probably billions of cash on hand, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. I could check right here. Meta platforms. More cash on hand. They got $70 billion as of March 30 that they could likely use to buy Bitcoin. Even if it's $1 billion, it'll be worth it, in my opinion. But the shareholders voted no. 95% of them. That is just crazy number. It's fine. They're missing out. they'll have to buy it later when it's much more expensive. They're still a billion-dollar company, so multi-billion-dollar company is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, they called it unnecessary, rejecting the BTC Treasury proposal. Well, unfortunate for you guys. I'm pretty sure Mark Zuckerberg holds some Bitcoin himself. Does he? Does Mark Zuckerberg hold a Bitcoin? A few years later, they would announce what? I don't think they do. I don't think it does. Doesn't matter. This was a funny glitch in the system. Haha, funny. Bitcoin dropped to 0 on MEXC. It's just a glitch. They did reply saying, hey, thanks for your feedback. Situation was just a display problem on the TradingView platform yesterday. The MEXC website itself did not have this problem and everything was normal. At present, the problem on TradingView platform has been restored, and we'll also keep in touch with TradingView technical team to avoid similar problems. So it was just a visual glitch, but yeah, that's pretty funny. Bitcoin dropped to 0. A couple people did get liquidated apparently on this, but I'm pretty sure they're working to resolve that issue from MEXC Exchange. All right. And of course, that post was from, what was his name? James Wynn. And James Wynn seems to have been at least pushing to be the main character earlier this week when markets were doing literally nothing at all. He kept saying like, oh, you might have heard of this guy. He is the whale that has been using like millions of dollars at 40x leverage. Somewhere around over here he entered. Bitcoin rose up to a new all-time high. The guy was like $80 million in profit, didn't sell, had dropped, had to reinforce his positions. He was asking people for donations and all that. Gets liquidated. Okay, couple days later, he re-enters again. Gets liquidated again, I'm pretty sure. He got liquidated twice. He only had $20 in his account. He loads up the account once again with a couple more $1 million. Goes again, 40x leverage. Things start rising and dropping. People are actually hunting. They're purposely shorting the market to hunt this guy down and make him get liquidated. And he was receiving all these donations as well in USDC, trying to reinforce his position to not get liquidated. It was peasantry money because his liquidation price would just drop $20, which in Bitcoin's price, $20 is like nothing. Or it was like $100 really, like a couple. The percentage was so insignificant that it really didn't matter. You're putting no dent in that liquidation price. He was like $20 from getting liquidated at one of these low points. And he's like, guys, help me fight back against these market makers, right? And then this happened, of course. He's absolutely liquidated. He's lost millions. He's giving the point to the market makers saying, okay, market makers, you guys won. Manipulators, people who are purposely shorting the market, but I'll get you next time is what he keeps saying. Anyways, he thinks he's the main character is what I'm trying to get at. And he's actually calling on CZ from Binance, co-founder, ex-founder, co-CEO, whatever you want to call him. Even Binance guy CZ pointed this out as well. The idea of implementing a dark pool decentralized exchange and perpetuals to prevent large traders from being exploited. Because right now, everything is on chain, right? You can see, like on Hyperscan, right? This guy was using Hyperliquid. Like, how do I explain this? Everybody can see that. You can see his liquidation price, and everybody's like, okay, guys, let's all work on shorting the market to liquidate this guy, because, haha, it's funny. He's losing millions of dollars and using 40x leverage. I mean, it could be a good cause if we saw it before when there was a Hyperliquid whale that was shorting the market at something like crazy like 40 or 50x leverage with millions of dollars. Everybody was working together to push the market price up to liquidate that shorter, because that makes sense. If you're shorting Bitcoin, screw you. You deserve to get liquidated. That was the mentality back then. But now it's just gotten out of hand, and people just hate this guy, James Wynn, myself included. Not really, but you know, I just see him all over Twitter, and like that's all I saw for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? It was all posts about this guy. So he's now calling on CZ from Binance to work on creating a decentralized exchange that hides all this stuff, that makes it actually private, right? You won't get to see which whales are entering the market, what their liquidation price, what their entry prices are. You won't be able to see that. He's looking for a dark pool decentralized exchange, which is a new concept. I don't even know if it exists yet, but that's something that he's proposing, obviously. So, hey, we shall see if this gets created. And I'm pretty sure CZ did comment something on it. He did say something about it on a tweet somewhere. If I can find it, that would be quite fantastic. I could probably just look up CZ Dex, I don't know, or Dark Pool. Here it is. June 1. Oh, okay, I don't know if I'm going to read all this. Given recent events, I think now may be a good time for someone to launch a dark pool perpetual decentralized exchange. He's always been puzzled with the fact that everyone can see your orders in real time on a decentralized exchange, because that just defeats the purpose of decentralization, I guess. The problem is worse on a perpetual decentralized exchange where there are liquidations, right? Even with a centralized exchange order book, where orders aren't linked to a specific individual, if you're looking to purchase $1 billion worth of a coin, you generally wouldn't want others to notice your order until it is completed. That's the whole deal with OTC markets, right? To kind of bypass this, because you don't want people seeing that. Otherwise, if people do see that, they might try to buy before you, effectively front-running you. If you announce, oh, I'm going to buy billions of dollars, the price has already gone up by then because people want to ride the price movement of the $1 billion being put into the market since you've already announced that you will be purchasing that. That's the kind of deal that he's talking about over here. In the case of a decentralized exchange, it could lead to MEV attacks, which results in increasing slippage, worse prices, and higher costs for you, right? Because with your announcement, you're already driving the price up, right? For this reason, the large traders in traditional finance use dark pools, which are often 10 times bigger than the lit pools, which is the normal order books. Order books, of course, being this stuff that you see over here. Do we even see it in this? I don't think you see it in this one. Oh yeah, you do. Well, it's gone. You're supposed to see like this thing where it shows a bunch of orders on the side. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't want to mess up my layout, so I'll just leave it there for now. For perpetuals or futures, which trades with leverage, it is even more important to not let others know or see your orders. If others can see your liquidation point, they could try to push the market to liquidate you. This was what was happening with James Wynn. Even if you got $1 billion, others can gang up on you. This is possibly what we have seen recently with James Wynn. The counter-argument I have seen is that being more transparent allows market makers to absorb your large orders. This is possibly true. Won't get into argument on which is right or wrong. Different traders may prefer different types of markets. Now might be a good opportunity for someone, he says someone, why not himself, to launch an on-chain dark pool style decentralized exchange with perpetuals, either by not showing the order book, or even better, not showing deposits into smart contracts at all, or until much later. It should be doable with ZK Sync or similar encryptions. Zero knowledge, ZK, right? I don't know why I said Sync. ZK Sync is the project. It's just a Sunday idea. If you're building such a project, feel free to reach out to CZ. There we go. No guarantees that he will invest or even reply. That is crazy. Yeah, quite entitlement right there. I did want to talk about this as well. An update on the top Bitcoin holders. Satoshi Nakamoto still top. 1.1 million Bitcoin. We'll always have that. Coinbase has 983,000 Bitcoins. Binance has 619,000 Bitcoins. BlackRock has 600,000 Bitcoins. MicroStrategy for... Okay, this is not updated at all. What are you talking about? Strategy... Yeah, they're still in the 5th spot regardless. Because they're supposed to have like 580,000 Bitcoin. I could be wrong. Somewhere along that line. They just made another purchase earlier this week as well. I could probably find that tweet. I'll get to it later. Fidelity has 346,000 Bitcoin. Grayscale 218,000. Man, that is crazy. They sold off so much. And the US government has 196,000 Bitcoin at number 8. I'm pretty sure China is next at 195,000. Yeah. What was I going to look for? Strategy, strategy, whatever. Surely there's a post about it. I don't think they're using this account anymore, are they? It's now strategy. Where's the B sign? Am I blind? Is it that one? I just saw it. I'm not crazy, right? A lot of AI posts. June 4. It should be around like June 1. Here it is. June 2. Strategy purchased 705 bitcoins. Costed them $75 million. Average price of 106,000. This guy's buying at 106,000. They have 580,955 bitcoins in total. Their average price is now increased to 70,000. It used to be 67, like way before. So they're buying the tops. They're buying all the time. And it was predictable that this was going to happen because, of course, one day before, Michael Saylor posts, "Oh, we need more orange." Right over here. Orange is my preferred color. He basically announces this, and typically the day later, he announces that MicroStrategy has purchased more Bitcoin. So it's kind of like his little heads up play. Every time he's about to purchase, he does that. Of course, here's him comparing the 1 year return of MicroStrategy versus a lot of other companies, even Bitcoin and gold. Yeah, MicroStrategy is just completely outperforming them. He's also got other projects as well. Strike, right? Strife. I see people talking about this as well. What was it? Torque? I don't know what Torque is. Yeah. But it's looking good. Looking good for MicroStrategy so far. I sold at the top, by the way. I just want to brag about that. No big deal. All right. SharpLink Gaming plans to buy $1 billion worth of Ethereum for its treasury, using proceeds from a proposed share sale, according to a SEC filing. That's cool. Companies buying Ethereum. $1 billion worth, right? That's not nothing. Should have a bit of an impact on the price. Wrong. Well, it depends on when they're going to buy it. I have not heard of this company, though, so I don't know what they do. Of course, it's gaming, but what? Anyway. The Securities Exchange Commission moves to block Rex's financial Ethereum and Solana staking ETFs, arguing that the structure treats staking like securities trading. That's not good. This decision is a red flag for U.S. crypto innovation, dampening sentiment and signaling more regulatory hurdles for yield-based products. Because that's kind of what we need to save Ethereum ETFs, is the staking to be approved down to it. And that just kept getting on delayed and delayed. And it seems like even Rex's ETFs, I never heard of this company, but the SEC is looking to block that. Because they're thinking that it's like securities trading. Okay. Social feeds are lit with disappointment and calls for clearer policy. Some sees this as SEC overreach favoring traditional finance, while a minority hold out for eventual workarounds. I'm more optimistic about workarounds, of course. Think the impact is overblown, or does this mark a shift in global crypto flows? All right, well, we shall see. M2 money supply is this. Even the crash was predicted. When was this posted? May 30, guys. This crash that we're seeing right here, it literally predicted that. That is just insane. A drop to 100,000 Bitcoin. It says 101. Sure, we deviated just a little bit lower from that. And we're kind of recovered from there. And man, it's looking... I don't know about this right over here. It's looking like a Sunday or Monday pump. I don't know. I might be exaggerating. It's probably not Sunday or Monday. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Given the scale movement of this dip right over here that we just experienced, because remember, this is from last week Friday. We were up here, which essentially we were, right? I don't know. This is looking really good, though. By August, 140K? Maybe. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says he is quite prepared for rates to go to 5%. So he's one of the few people that think that we're not going to get any rate cuts this year. Rather, we will get some rate hikes. So he says that Jerome Powell is in the right for waiting on the rate cuts for now, right? Trump is pressuring Jerome Powell to cut the rates. Meanwhile, Jamie Dimon thinks the opposite. He's like, no, let him cook. Let's see what he thinks. And, who knows? We might actually get a rate hike this year. And that's something that I was wanting to something I wanted to discuss about today as well. He's preparing for a 5% 10-year note yield. Yeah, whatever. The CME Fed Watch group that gives you percentages as to whether or not we will be getting rate cuts or rate hikes. Oh, they deleted it now. We were actually looking at a rate hike, though, at some point, I'm pretty sure, earlier today. Oh, well, it seems like it's completely out of the question. Yeah, this is a bunch of bogus then. This is also a post from May 30, so it's been a while. And the reason I'm using these old posts is because I haven't streamed at all this week. I did stream yesterday, but that was just an unprepared Elon Musk Trump update, right? What stands for now is a 70% chance of a rate cut in September, and then another 77% chance of a rate cut in December. That is still 2 rate cuts for this year, which is something that we have been expecting, although the probability slightly changed with the new non-farm payroll data that we just got. Still for the better nonetheless, right? It got rid of the the percentages that we might be getting a rate hike at all, right? That's just completely out of the question by now. I'm pretty sure, though, earlier to today, we did see some percentage chance of a rate hike. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I saw. I saw it somewhere else. Also, he's thinking that the U.S. should not be stockpiling Bitcoin, but instead you should be stockpiling guns, bullets, tanks, planes, drones, and rare earths. Is it a warning or a wake-up call? I don't know. I think that's an exaggeration. We have enough of that stuff, right? Come on, just buy Bitcoin, and then you can buy the rest of that stuff later. Apparently, BlackRock sold 4,100 Bitcoin and bought 27,700 Ethereum. Are they ahead of themselves? Possibly. That's another thing I wanted to check, right, is the ETF flows. And yeah, essentially that is correct. BlackRock has been outflowing 30th of May, 2nd of June. They inflowed a little bit June 3rd to June 4th. Yesterday, no inflows. Today, nothing yet reported. But yeah, there has been some outflows. Obviously, some profit taking because Bitcoin was at pretty decent levels 30th of May. And they started actually stacking up on Ethereum, which I will confirm right here. And that is true. Ever since 27th of May, or even 27th, we'll call it. 32 million, 52 million, 50 million, 70 million, 48 million, 77, 73, 34 million dollars. Constant inflows every day. They're starting to stack up on Ethereum. Do they know something? Alt season coming. Possibly. Although I think it's still too early for you to have sold Bitcoin. I don't know. Maybe that was Bitcoin top like I showed you with the previous post with the two top thing that we saw in 2021. People are thinking that this is the case. Like, this is the first top, that's the second top. I'm thinking at least we continue back to our all-time high at least. I'm hoping we hit 135K, though, by some point this year. Yep, that's what we're expecting for now. An update on the drama as well from Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Remember that there was that poll that even I voted on just to check the results. I don't really care about adding a new political party in America. I can't even vote in America. I'm not from there. He's posted this, that is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? And apparently 80% of the people actually agreed. The people have spoken. A new political party is needed in America to represent the 80% in the middle. So he's teasing that he will make a new political party. Can he even run a political party? He's not a US-born citizen. I mean, he could maybe get somebody American to run for him, I guess, and he just tells them what to do. Kind of like what he's doing with Trump. But I guess with somebody that isn't Trump. Another update on Twitter. They are joining forces with Polymarket as their official prediction market partner. So there's a partnership there with Twitter and Polymarket. And Shane Copeland, the CEO, says that he's proud to announce it, and the two top truth-seeking apps on the internet are stronger together. Welcome to News 2.0. Stay tuned. So that's good. Good, I guess. And this whole, what I showed you with not Zuckerberg, but Meta platforms refusing to purchase Bitcoin. Don't worry, it's not over yet. Apple, Twitter, Airbnb, Google, they're reportedly in early talks to integrate stablecoins. Obviously not buying Bitcoin as a reserve, but at least they will be integrating stablecoins, which is a signal of big tech's growing move into crypto payments amid shifting US policy. Because we know that even we saw in the Bitcoin conference, a lot was talked about with stablecoins and the regulation that will be provided for them. So we should see some good stuff coming out of that hopefully soon. And that's that. Bitcoin's price for 104,300. Not a lot of movement from here. What is my total profit? Why doesn't it tell me that? In standard futures it does, but here it doesn't. Cringe. Why? Oh, it tells you here. Unrealized profit. You just have to move this, which is unfortunate, but yeah, you can see it. Your unrealized profit and loss, $28. I don't care about $28. But yeah, cool. All right. That'll be it for me today then. Thanks guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. Man, I went an hour for streaming. I mean, fair enough. There was a bit to cover. I had a lot of catch up on. So there you go. Hope you enjoy the stream. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll see what we yap about here. Hoping that this downtrend breaks for Bitcoin and most other cryptocurrencies. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.